Estoy buena. Sí, pero estoy caliente. ¿Puedo tener un vaso de agua, por favor?
Stop. If you say these things, native speakers will probably understand you, but they will know right away that your Spanish is not that good. And maybe even lead to some embarrassing moments. Like, estoy caliente doesn't really mean I'm hot. It actually means I am horny. The correct way to say I'm hot, I'm hot, is tengo calor. So be careful with that. That happens when you try to translate everything from English into Spanish. So today I'm giving you the 8 main translation traps every English speaker falls into, especially when using the verb to be or to have. I have put all of these translation traps into a nice cheat sheet that Patreon family members can download, so you don't need to be taking notes and you can just study. And stay until the end, because the last one is something that everybody does, even advanced students, and we need to fix that. So by the end of this video, you will speak Spanish much better. Let's start. Now the first one is when somebody asks, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Most English speakers say, Estoy bueno, or Estoy buena. The correct way is, Estoy bien. I'm well. So in English, it's normal to say, I'm good. In Spanish, it's not okay. In Spanish, we always say, I am well, estoy bien. And estoy bueno, or estoy buena, actually means I look hot, like I'm sexy, I'm attractive. Or when you are not sick and you are well, you can also say that. Ya no estoy enfermo, estoy bueno. I'm not sick anymore, I'm fine. The same happens with malo. Estoy malo, I'm sick. Estoy mal, I'm not well, I'm not fine. And as an extra, what happens with soy bueno? Soy bueno, remember, the verb to be, ser, is for personality. So soy bueno means I am a good person. I am good as a person. Soy malo, I'm a bad person. Alright, so remember, ¿Cómo estás? Estoy bien. Never estoy bueno, unless you are feeling especially attractive that day. The next one is about the weather. When we want to talk about the weather in general, like the temperature outside, like it's hot, we don't say está caliente, está calor, es caliente. We say hace calor. It makes heat. It does heat. So it's a completely different way of saying it. And if you want to say it's cold, hace frío. So what about está caliente, es caliente? Well, that's the next one. When we talk about temperature, it depends on what we want to express. If I want to say I am hot, like I'm feeling like it's hot, tengo calor, me personally. Not that it's hot, the weather. That was hace calor. But if I'm hot, I'm feeling like it's hot, tengo calor, the verb to have. So what about estoy caliente? Estoy caliente, again, means I'm horny. Or it can be when something is hot to the touch. So you can say, uy, estoy caliente, tengo fiebre. I'm hot, I have a fever, hot to the touch. Or el café está caliente, the coffee is hot, to the touch, like physically hot. The same happens with cold, frío. If I'm cold, tengo frío. If I'm cold to the touch, estoy frío. Or el café está frío. The coffee is cold. And what about the other verb to be? Soy frío. Soy frío, again, the verb to be, ser, personality. That means I have a cold personality. I'm a cold person. Like I have no feelings. Like I don't cry, I don't get excited or nervous. I'm just a cold person. Like a Navy SEAL or something. That is ser frío. Now, other situations in which we use the verb to have instead of to be, for example, for some feelings. For example, with I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Now, for this, we actually have 2 options. We can use the verb to be estar. Estoy hambriento, I'm hungry. Estoy sediento, I'm thirsty. But first, that means that you are actually very hungry or very thirsty. And number 2, we don't use them that much. The more natural way to say this is tengo hambre, tengo sed. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. I have the feeling of hunger, I have the feeling of thirst. That would be how we say it in Spanish. The same happens with I'm sleepy. Tengo sueño. We don't use the verb to be. Estoy, soy. We use the verb to have. I have the feeling of being sleepy. Tengo sueño. Then there are situations in which in English you use the verb to have. In Spanish, we don't. For example, when you order things at a bar, restaurant, you always say, "Can I have a glass of water, please?" And most English speakers say, "Puedo tener un vaso de agua, por favor?" We don't use puedo tener to ask for things. Never. Instead, we use different verbs like, for example, dame un vaso de agua, por favor. Give me a glass of water, please. I know that sounds a bit commanding in English, but in Spanish it's totally fine, especially if you do it smiling and with a please at the end. Or a softer one, ¿me das un vaso de agua, por favor? Like, would you give me a glass of water, please? Or, ¿me pones un vaso de agua, por favor? Ponme un vaso de agua, por favor. There are different ways to order things, to ask for things, but not puedo tener. No. And this is something that I hear all the time, every day at restaurants, bars, shops. Don't do it because, they will understand what you mean, but it sounds very weird to us. It's a different structure. The same happens when you talk about to have dinner, to have lunch. We don't use the verb to have here. We have specific verbs to say to have dinner, to have lunch, including to have. And those are cenar, to have dinner, and almorzar, to have lunch, or comer, to eat, to have lunch too. So we don't say voy a tener cena, I'm going to have dinner. We say voy a cenar. Cenar already includes to have dinner, all of it. Or we don't say voy a tener almuerzo, I'm going to have lunch. We say voy a almorzar. Almorzar already means to have lunch, all of it. A similar one is when you want to say I had a good time. We don't use the verb to have because we don't had a good time, we passed a good time. So we don't say tuve un buen tiempo. Instead we say lo pasé muy bien. I spent it really well, the time. And the last one, and this one I hear it all the time with the verb to have and the verb to be, both, is the negative. You know how in English you can say I have no money? So in Spanish you try to say yo tengo no dinero. That doesn't work in Spanish. In Spanish, no is always before the verb. So yo no tengo dinero. The same happens with the verb to be. Normally you say I am not your friend. But in Spanish, you cannot say yo soy no tu amigo. We have to say yo no soy tu amigo. Always bring no before the verb. Alright, hope that was helpful and you don't make these mistakes again. If it was, please consider subscribing and liking the video so more people can get to see it. Don't forget we have a Patreon page where you can find extra resources if you want to join. And let me know in the comments which of these mistakes were you making often in Spanish. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego!